But the question is why? Because I used to look at the brackets to see who I had, and then after a while I started looking at the brackets to count how many matches that I needed to win in order to win the tournament. So you need to ask yourself, why? Are you looking because you're looking for somebody that you don't want to fight and you're scared? Ask yourself why. Critical question number 8. Have you completed scouting reports on your opponents before fighting them? Do you know how to scout appropriately? You may or you may not. Let me tell you something. If you go into practice and you're trying to be a better judo player and you don't have files on the people that you're fighting or notes or stuff like that, man, you're not serious. You're not serious. And you could be practicing hard and running, but you're not serious. I see so many people at the national level in the United States who they just fight. They don't do anything on a cerebral level. I have no problem telling you, I was not the greatest judo player in the world. I wasn't. Personally, I'm just going to be honest with you. Personally, when I had to look at, and this is not a slight to anybody in my weight class or in USA Judo, but when I looked at the landscape in USA Judo, I just didn't think that any of those people were smarter than me. I just didn't. And you can call the stance arrogant, but it was a stance that I needed to take in order to achieve what I achieved. I just didn't think that those people were going to study. I knew that I could outwork and outstudy those people. Coming from a football background in college and watching film and doing scouting reports, I just believed that I could outstudy those people. Because there was no way in the short period of time that I did judo, when I returned to the sport, that I was going to be able to quote unquote out judo them. It wasn't possible. So everybody looked at what I was doing as, oh man, this guy's a great athlete and he has a massive amount of strength and explosiveness. Don't be stupid. It's not possible. It didn't have anything to do with it. People who train with me at the Olympic Training Center could tell you that I studied, sitting on the second floor in the computer room, studied. Watching film, adding film, studying. Until I get the movement iterations down. I can tell you what, if the person reaching out with the left arm, the right arm, then what move they're going to do when they do newaza, if they do newaza at all. What's their breaking point in the match? When I was training with Taraji Williams-Murray, man, we would study and watch film like it was going out of style. When Brian Piccolo trained with me for the 2008 Olympic trials, we would fall asleep at night. He'd have the remote in his hand, and the remote would drop to the floor, and that's how he'd wake up, watching film. He said, man, I never watched this much video on judo ever. That's what you have to do. And then you have to complete the scouting reports, and you have to go over the scouting reports and have the scouting reports create the game plan. If you don't have judo scouting reports, my product, I would highly influence you to get it. This is not a sales pitch for it, but I'm just telling you, if you want to do judo and you want to scout appropriately, and you don't know how to scout, if you already know how to scout, don't bother. You got it? Good. I'm not trying to say nothing. But if you don't know how to scout, man, you need to get judo scouting reports. Just go to judoscoutingreports.com. Critical question 9. Now understand this. Watch this. Watch this. Watch. Critical question 7 and critical question 9 are the same. Do you look at your bracket before competition, and why? And the reason why I'm asking you twice, because the first time, let's be honest, some of you lied. You didn't mean to lie. Your ego won't allow you to tell the truth sometimes. Some of you don't want to say, you know what, I really look at the bracket because I'm kind of scared about the following. 1, about the amount of matches that I may have in that day. 2, who I'm fighting. Because there's some people who look at the bracket so they can know when they're going to lay down. Or you look at the bracket to see who you have, not who has you. At the Nationals, I used to walk up to the bracket and count. People will look at I walk in the crowd of people and they're all looking at the bracket, and I just count 1, 2, 3, 4 in the final. Okay, that's what I got. 4 matches in the final. Then I just walk off. Now, of course, I look at all the names and everything in my room, but in front of everybody, I just counted and then walked off. Because when I'm looking at the brackets, I'm thinking about how many I have to the final. And it was not until 2003 that I was able to start competing at an international level like that, when I was able to medal at Tratori. But I remember Jimmy Pedro telling me, he said, you got to stop going to these tournaments worried about who you have. They need to be worrying about that they have you. I said, wow, it's a different perspective. I mean, but that was the truth. Critical question 10. Do you have mock matches at your judo club or your dojo with 3 referees, coaches, crowd noise, etc., just like a real tournament? When I was coaching in the Bahamas, we did this. You need to do this because, and Israel Hernandez, the Olympic medalist from Cuba, who was one of the coaches in 2008 for the United States, he said the key is to get as many matches as possible, because you need to be good at playing judo. You don't have to be good at doing judo. See, the thing about randori is randori helps you do judo in terms of randori. You need to learn how to do judo in a competitive environment. You need to learn the gamesmanship. You need to learn the tactics. You need to learn how to put a match together. And you can't do that without mock matches. So there's some days when you go to practice where, man, you need 3 referees. You need to walk in. You need to bow. You need crowd noise. You need to put some of your students in the coaching chair and let them coach so they understand what it's like to coach as well. You need to have people yelling and screaming. You need all of that. In the Bahamas, what we did was we had referees. I would put there was a TV in the dojo. I'd take some of the judo matches that we had on video or on DVD. I put them in the player, turn the volume up loud as I possibly could, and then have the kids on the side cheering and yelling and screaming. I said, you all cheer for player A, you all cheer for player B, and then I break it up into 4 sections. You cheer for player A, you cheer for player B, you heckle player A, you heckle player B. Because they have to get used to all the crowd noise, and I make them yell and scream louder than their coach was talking. Because they have to get used to being in a match, just like a real tournament. And the more matches they get, the better. See, instead of complaining that I don't have money to go to XYZ tournaments, you can have a tournament every day in your dojo. Real match conditions. Or at least every week. You don't have to have a roundup or go. No. Your coach can put on a nice suit, be a referee, put two people at each corner, get some people from your dojo to sit in the coach's chair, and you square off against one of your competitors, and you make a bracket, or you just say you guys are going to fight 2 out of 3, 5 minutes on, 5 minutes off, and you get about 4 matches that day, and your job is to go 4-0. That's it. You can do that, and you can also do what we do. We do mock tactics, meaning you have 45 seconds and you're down by a Yuko, or you have 30 seconds and you're down by a Shido, or you've been pushed out of bounds twice. The crowd is screaming and booing and hissing and whistling, and you can't be pushed out of bounds anymore, and you got to find a way to circle, and you got to find a way to attack. Or put you in and let you be down by a Wazari,